inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Fave Favorite. And time does fly when you're having a good time. This is our last segment here on Inside the Trenches, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. And remember, every Monday between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., y'all can check us out here, right here on this app. Now, of course, on my at Big Fave 504, I'll have up different portions of the show for y'all to check out. But I want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Health Nut System. Shouts out to Dr. Kendra for coming on, talking to us how we can stay all shape and move that body for the summer. And then also I want to thank Robert Wolf Construction for all that they do for the show as well. If y'all, we in New Orleans, y'all, and especially my folks on the bayou that's Far West Bank, y'all got to elevate them houses. We had snow. We actually had snow in New Orleans since like 1897 or something crazy like that. So I don't know what this hurricane season is going to be, but we have to hit up our folks at Robert Wolf Construction. Remember, y'all can let them know y'all heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches, and y'all can call at 504-393-2445. Y'all know me, man. I love music and I love sports. These two things have been a part of my life for years. Growing up here in the New Orleans area, we had great examples of that. Lyricists, producers, musicians, you name it, this city is known for. Well, our next guest falls right off of that cloth, baby. Formerly with No Limit, he's worked with Cash Money artists. He's worked with so many people throughout the country. You got fans that are celebrities everywhere. My brother from the 504, Mr. Mac himself. Mac, baby, what's good?
Hello, somebody.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Y'all
You
make
heard
sure.
me?
Y'all
What's
follow.
happening?
I'm good, man. Y'all follow Mac at Mac official Mac Phelps.
Official.
Yep.
Yeah, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that.
Yes, indeed, my brother. You've been busy. You've been on the road with P. Y'all have done some shows recently. You and Fiend has collaborated on some things. Talk to our listeners about how it's been going on the road with you guys.
Well, everything's been good. Me and Fiend just did a show in Atlanta. I had one here in New Orleans, I think, last week in Bridge City, actually. This weekend we'll be in New Jersey. I'll be in New Jersey with P and I think the Locks and Bone Thugs and Harmony had that show. That's in Jersey Friday, June 6th. I got we're doing the Essence Festival, of course. We're doing Essence next month. So just trying to prepare and even with all of that, me and Fiend are actually going on a tour starting next week, I think on the 17th or something like that. So we've just been moving around, man, just trying to connect and make it happen, you know.
I'm glad you're on the show because we do have a lot of young listeners. And for cats like me and Mario, man, we cool, but I'm still like, man, I got Mac in here. It's really one of those, it's a humbling experience for us. But, you know, I start to think about your catalog, like when No Limit was really progressing as a label. I mean, of course, I always think about the classic I'm About It days, you know, Master P putting together. And I got to talk about P. You had that Deion Sanders Atlanta jersey on in there, too. I had everything.
And I'm About It?
And I'm About It.
Man, you know what? I never thought about that. He sure did had on a... But see, you got to keep in mind, Deion was the man back then. He was the man. So, you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. So, we can't let Terry Fontenot or none of them at Atlanta Falcons see that. They're going to hold on,
man, P should have had on the Saints jersey. Yeah, straight up. Straight up. Now, Deion, look, America, what the camera, America.
That's you.
Shout out to Deion, and look, shout out to P, but Saints, baby.
Go Saints, baby. Saints go all the way. I'm going to talk to you about your Saints before we leave here, too. But just, I guess, talk to our viewers about those early days with No Limit when you guys worked on your first few projects. I mean, the way y'all recorded, man, you was on everybody's album.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, and I say to America, look, man, I think No Limit was the first hip-hop sweatshop. Like, we were literally in there day in and day out just spitting albums out like an assembly line. We had a formula at the time, and the formula was working. And I don't think that we really understood the enormity of it until it was gone. You know what I mean? I know for me, I didn't really understand that, yo, we making a lot of records. I mean, we put out like about 28 albums in 1 year or something like that. So it was just crazy. That's crazy. I don't think anybody has ever done anything like that. But I do remember us just being excited, man, to be in there, just to be recording all the time. So it was fun for us, you know.
You guys are legends, man, and I know y'all have inspired so many like young musicians in the city with y'all's work. But growing up for you in that era, what inspired you, and what was it like in that era being an up and coming musician in New Orleans?
Right. So I guess my inspiration as far as music is concerned came from just listening to jazz. You know what I mean? I always loved jazz, so I'm a true New Orleanian. But from hip hop, as far as hip hop is concerned, I was raised on your Rakim, your LL, your Run DMC. So these were my quote unquote OGs that I looked up to. So, man, it was a great time back then, and just always wanting to compete and be the best. And that's what I think it was. The formula was just wanting to be the best. And so I think that drove all of us to give our best.
Longevity. You have been in the game for a while. Back in the early 90s, you dropped The Lyrical Midget. That's a song. Taking it back. I Need Wheels was on there. You talk about Rakim, but you even then, that Young Mac, your flowing pattern, man, we knew the potential was going to be there. Early days, man, just growing up, Parkway, right? You grew up in
like right around that area. Right around that area.
Just, I guess, talk to us about that whole situation, that whole making your first album.
I think what is not stated enough, even by myself, and I'm guilty of this, and fellas forgive me, but Gregory D and Sporty T were, they had a major influence on my career. They were like the first people that I remember in the 80s rappers that had a song on the radio in New Orleans. And this was my Uncle Bean, rest in peace, this was my uncle's best friends. So I literally had like a front row seat to some guys that were considered celebrities at the time in New Orleans. And so just watching them battle people and watching how they used their words, the way they dressed, and just their whole swag, it kind of had a lasting effect on me. And basically when I started rapping, it was just me trying to emulate what they were doing.
Right, exactly. If y'all are just tuning in, that's a good point there. Because that's basically what we did with them. It's crazy. I love what I'm doing right now in this interview. If y'all just tuning in, we have Mac from No Limit going on tour with No Limit here soon. Have been going on tour and doing some great shows, bringing back that original Southern New Orleans hip hop where we've missing. What hip hop is really missing.
Right.
And y'all have, like, you have an audience. Like, I was talking to Insane about this the other day. I'll never forget when he dropped
Shout out
this.
to Insane, too.
Big ups to Insane.
Shout out to Insane. That's the homie.
He tell me stories about you and Fiend all the time. I know him and Fiend played football together at the park back there in Holly Grove, and it's just cooler. Even Insane, like, meeting him later on in life, like, dude, I remember listening to all of your songs. They know about
that was my jam.
My
no.
door, you know,
and I don't think they're gonna catch me because I'll be running. Yeah, that was my dude.
That's New Orleans, right? But listen, these are folks from our area that even were on different labels were like brothers. Like, for years, Mac supported BG, BG supported Mac. Yeah. Brothers in Trouble, one of my favorite songs y'all did together. I really thought you brought the best out of BG lyrically, y'all coming up. Like, when y'all would get on the song, I felt like BG felt like he had to get in the zone.
And that's because me and BG, I've known BG since we were kids.
Wow.
So, and BG always liked to hear me rap. So when he started rapping and I started hearing how good he was and just how authentic that voice and just his sound was, I always wanted to hear him. So when we got in the studio together, it was just like, it was like iron sharpening iron. And I think that is what we got as far as Brothers in Trouble. I think it was just a reflection of us both admiring each other enough to bring our best to the song.
Because it was on his album and it was on yours.
Yeah, so it was a song that I had already called Cops and Robbers.
Okay.
And so when I just so happened to be at the studio that day, and BG was like, man, listen, come hear this beat that Fresh in the pre-production room doing. So I went in there, I heard the beat, and I'm like, all right, I got something for it. And I just spit that. And by the way, Fresh was somebody I had already worked with before.
He wills.
Yeah.
Years ago, like y'all
Yeah,
had.
yeah. So
That's cool.
Fresh is who kind of taught me how to structure my songs. Because before Manny broke everything down for me, I used to just write never-ending songs as a kid. You know, my songs were just like devastating, dominate, you know, all these big words that we want to use. And so Fresh was like, nah, Lil Mac, you got to put, because he always, till this day, Fresh still calls me Lil Mac. I'm 47 years old. I was just with Fresh at the Dreamville Fest in North Carolina. So, and he's still like, what's up, Lil Mac? And he basically told me, break your verses down, 16 bars, put a hook here, put a verse there, and that's who kind of taught me how to structure a song.
Wow.
That's so awesome, and I'm glad you brought him up because Manny Fresh even influenced me growing up. I do the play-by-play in Spanish for the Saints now. I did it for LSU football for many years.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
whenever DJ Shark, wide receiver, would run back a punt on the Spanish broadcast, I would say, "Go DJ,
Go, DJ.
That's my DJ," before I hit the touchdown whenever they scored. So shout out to Manny Fresh.
Yeah, that's my dude. Shout out to Manny Fresh.
And Big Fave and I talk a lot of college football. You know, the landscape of the sport's so different compared to what it was 20 years ago. I imagine the same could be said about the music scene. So that's kind of an open-ended question, but how different is the industry right now compared to when you were coming up all those years ago?
Well, it's very different in a great way and then in some not so great ways. I think that the way the industry is right now is the way that I've always wanted it to be since a kid. Like I've always wanted there to be no barriers in between the artist and the audience, right? And this is the perfect time for that. There is no barrier, no gatekeeper between the artist and his audience. And I love that. Now, with that comes a flip side. Oversaturation. We have so many artists now that you have to be super extraordinary to be heard over the millions of other people that's trying to make songs. So, yeah, I love the independence it brings, but, yeah, it kind of makes the competition that much stiffer.
Yeah, it does. Speaking of which, and I want to talk to you about a couple other things, but right now, out of all the, and there's a lot of artists out, if Mac was to say, okay, I want to work with these 2 or 3 artists right now, is there any like artists out right now that you working on an album, a project
That I haven't worked with already?
that you haven't worked with already that you wouldn't mind working with now?
J. Cole will be at the top of the list. Kendrick Lamar, definitely. Wale. I haven't done anything with Wale before.
I like the artists you pick because we know Kendrick's very lyrical, but you and Cole, I just feel like y'all get on the track. That's the track we looking for because y'all both about the same height too.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Cole smoke me. I couldn't let him
I know
smoke
you're
me.
not. I'm telling you,
And
I
look,
would put my
Cole,
money on Mac. I'm telling
Cole,
you.
if you listening, I'm 47. I've been out of it for a minute, but I wouldn't let you smoke me, my brother. You might do your thing, but I'm not gonna let you smoke me on no song.
And Cole, you my dog, bro. I really like your music. I know me and D1 met you a few years ago. You was down here for All Star. You don't want it with the camouflage assassin, bro. I'm gonna say that on wax.
So we gonna go on record?
We go on the record and say that.
America, Cole, you don't want it. All right.
And I love Cole, but this is, man. I'm trying to think. It's No Limit Hip Hop. What you like his voice with your girlfriend's
like him, so you ain't really got a choice. I mean, what? Yeah. So that was crazy. That song was crazy. That was just a fun song, man. We was just in the studio, basically was freestyling, and we made that up on the spot. I just wanted somebody to play the bass, get the brothers to clap. I wanted to have an authentically live sound. I didn't want no beat to it or anything. That was just fun. And ironically, this is crazy. Ironically, that was one of Master P's favorite songs on the album.
Come on.
He came in the studio and he heard it and he was like, yo. So he went called the people from Priority and he came back. He was like, yeah. Them dudes in the East Coast don't think we got no hip hop. Check this out. You know what I mean? So he really liked that song. It just was not a song that was typically marketable for that market. You know what I mean?
man. Okay, you brought up Master P. I was watching an interview you did. You say Master P is one of the coolest freestyle rappers you've ever worked with?
No. I'll be very specific with my words. I say he is the most successful freestyle artist I've ever seen because P wrote nothing. Like everything came from the top of his head. Everything was done in real time in the moment, right? And so to be able to do that and to make a successful career out of that, I haven't seen anyone do it. Now, I've heard people say, well, Wayne don't write, Jay don't write. Yeah, these guys don't stereotypically write. I don't write. But I memorize things in my mind. I put the stories together and the stuff in my mind before I go to the mic and spit it. That's different from getting on the mic and literally making these stories up in real time. That's what P do.
Well, how you? Okay, let's take. I'm gonna go back to P for a second, but I gotta go back to you. So wait, when I'm thinking of World War II and shell shock, those were freestyles?
No.
You did write. Okay.
I wrote them in my mind. Like I sat down.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
You
so I
and
would
Wayne,
sit there
that must be
and
a
go over it and
East
memorize
Bank thing
it.
or something.
Yeah, I would memorize it and recite it to myself over and over again till I memorize it, and then I would go in the booth and spit it. This is what I believe. America, I'm not sure. I'm not in the studio sessions with Jay-Z or Biggie or none of them, but I am sure that it is very difficult, I would say, to come up with the intricate stories, lyrics, and plots that Jay-Z, Wayne, or Biggie come up with in real time. I think that's impossible. Whereas if you see what P is doing, P's stories are very simple, right? But it's effective. I think that is more likely to be true. Just watching him in real time, he just get on the mic, Kel, cut the mic on, and just, yeah.
Yeah, because y'all recorded, this was on Ghetto D. Say Black, the eye contact that you and I share made me want to be real.
Yeah.
So you were on there. I want to say Fiend was on that record and P. P freestyle. Well, he freestyled that. He just went there and ran. Dog,
Yeah.
He was spitting on that.
He was straight
Because I saw the
freestyle.
little stuff about, okay, the debate is up. Who you taking, Birdman or P? To me, two different. Like Birdman is the #1 stunner. Like
Yeah.
he is the
Most
you talk
definitely.
About,
Most definitely.
Who is the rap stunner? Who's the #1 rap stunner
Yeah,
guy? It's Birdman.
I think Baby epitomizes what he's the epitome of stunner. He's the epitome of you ain't gonna outshine Baby. He is the epitome of it. He created it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, P on the other hand is a hustler.
Yeah.
P epitomizes a hustler. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. One of them is epitomizes the stunting, the shining. The other one epitomizes hustle.
Hey, y'all, if y'all just tune in to Inside the Trenches, I'm joined by No Limit artist Mac, all the way back from the Lyrical Midget to Shell Shock to World War III. This brother has dropped classic albums. Mac, which leads me to my next deal with you. Back in 2001, you were incarcerated.
Yeah.
You were in jail for a minute, brother. I'm thankful to D1 because he really kept us up, like your fan base, me, Deli Boy, who produced Hello Somebody. All us, man. He's positive. He's doing the right things. You shared some stories with me about LSU. I'm gonna get to here, but man, I want to tell you this. Your release date in 2021,
Yeah.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
It's my birthday, dog.
Wow.
You came out on my birthday, my dog.
Look.
One of my favorite hip hop
Yes,
artists
sir.
were released
Yes, sir.
on my
I told
birthday.
you, a good luck charm. I told you that. The man went to the Saints Super Bowl. Man come from LSU Super Bowl. On his birthday, I got out of prison. The man got America. Big Fave got a rabbit foot in his pocket.
Hello, somebody indeed.
Hello, somebody.
Hello, freedom.
Yeah.
Hello, freedom.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So that was 21 years. Fave. 21 years, man.
I'm thinking back. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was still at Shaw, sophomore in high school, and we know, like we knew your lyrics, and that's gonna lead me to my next question. But you could tell you was a good person. Like everybody I talked to, everybody spoke highly of you. Talk to our viewers about the Restore Artist Protection Act.
Restoring the Autistic Protection Act. Well, the Restoring Autistic Protection Act was a bill that myself, my wife, and a team of individuals, we spearheaded back about 2 years ago, and it was passed, I believe, in 2023. On August the 2nd and on August 1st, it became law. It was passed before then, but it became law in the state. And we're trying to get similar bills passed all across the country. In fact, I'm leaving Wednesday to go to New York because we have to go do some lobbying up there for an important bill that's about to be on the table up there. So we're basically fighting for the free speech of artists and basically trying to make sure people have fair trials. You know, we're trying to prevent some folks from going through what I went through. My song lyrics were used against me in court. People like Corey Miller, like C. Murder, his lyrics were used against him in court, and we think that heavily prejudices a jury. You know what I mean? Against an individual, particularly in a time where there are so many people that view young men in a certain way already, and we know that a lot of these song lyrics are just song lyrics. You know, it's not to be taken literal. Now, this is not a get out of jail free card that we're pushing for. In fact, we just want people to have a fair trial. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's why I go do my part to make sure that I try my best to stop someone from going through what I went through as a result of my song lyrics.
Yeah, Mario, Max making a good point because, I mean, I paid attention to that the whole time. And for you to spend 21 years of your life in prison, and for your motivation coming out is to say, hey, I can't allow this to happen to any of these new rappers. We know Young Thug was on trial and they were using his lyrics. Yeah. I know we spoke about that the last time. He was able to get out of that deal. I saw that President Trump just pardoned NBA Youngboy, who, to me, he is the epitome of you being a mentor, too, for this particular deal, because I'm not saying that I'm a fan of Youngboy. Youngboy, I hope you stream your concert, because I don't want to be up in there with the young boys, you know. But I want to check out that show.
So America, what Favorite saying is he's an NBA Youngboy fan, but he don't want to be in there with the other young boys.
That's all I'm saying. And nothing against them at all. I'm pretty sure we'll all have a good time. I'm gonna be singing the lyrics along with them. But
we grown.
A little nervous. Yeah, we grown.
Yeah, we grown.
So do like Weezy did. If you don't mind, just go ahead and stream that thing with Prime Video or something. Thank you. Yeah. Me and Mac will come out there and we'll hit the stage, but we'll be backstage.
I'll be watching from the back. and look, and what's interesting is, speaking of Youngboy, I actually met Youngboy's mother at one of the No Limit reunion shows. I didn't know. Like, she came and she met. She asked me to take a picture with her. I took a picture with her, and the lady who was taking the picture said, "Mac, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "No." I said, "No, ma'am." And she was like, "That's Youngboy, Mom." I was like, "Oh, hey." You know, I didn't know. But and she was real nice. So yeah, the law that we're fighting for hopefully will affect all of the artists going forward that are, I mean, as I stated before on several networks, we know that a lot of what these artists say is simply hyperbole, metaphors, similes, and et cetera. I mean, you have a young man that may say on a particular song he killed 4 people, but he also say he owned a Bentley, and we know this is not true, man. So, you know what I mean? We got to be real, and I think it sets a bad precedent when we allow these district attorneys to cherry pick what they deem to be autobiographical and what is not. So I just think that keep the song lyrics out of it altogether, because if you really have evidence, then that'll be irrelevant anyway.
That's big time.
Yeah. Mario, I always think about Scarface, like Al Pacino, one of my favorite actors. Yeah. They can't convict him on what he did in Scarface. I mean, the man would be buried, you know?
Yeah,
so
everybody,
it's
it's crazy. It's crazy. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I do know that there is probably a small percentage of artists that are irresponsibly detailing their crimes in their songs. Hey, this law does not protect you. It does not protect you from self-incrimination. What our law does is protect your song lyrics from being used as a character witness, very specific, as a character witness against you. Meaning they can't bring up songs that you had before and say, hey, because of these song lyrics, he's more than likely the type of person that'll commit this crime. We think that's erroneous. I think that everything should be challenged like any other witness. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do. Now, if you get on the record and you sitting there with your phone in front of the blood of the person you killed, and you're like, yeah, I just handle my business and this, that, and the other.
I'm thinking about Boondocks.
Yeah, and then you giving yourself motive, you putting yourself on the location. Yeah. You done. Now, come on. I mean, we can't be crazy here, America. We can't be crazy here.
That's right.
Right. Don't be like Gangstalicious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Gangstalicious.
Yes, don't be like Gangstalicious.
Don't do it.
You broke that down so good, man, and hopefully what you went through prevented prevents, you know, future people from going through that. But just
Yeah.
in general, whether it comes, you know, to music or sports or anything, what
Yeah.
advice would you have for people that are just going through adversity? Like if you're going through a tough time, what helped you when you were going through tough times that you think can be applied to anything?
Well, when I was going through a tough time, I always saw my freedom. That's the first thing. You have to see it. You have to believe and see it, and you have to put in the work on yourself and the things around you to change your environment. I'm a person who believes that prison is for prisoners. Once I no longer became a prisoner, my time was up. You know what I mean? So I believe that that you have the power over your circumstances and environment. I just think that dig into yourself and change your environment. That's what I would tell the individual. Whatever you're experiencing and whatever you're uncomfortable with, you're supposed to be uncomfortable because that's a part of you that's fighting against that, or there's a part of you that's warning you about that, right? What you gonna do about it? Change it, and you got to change you. And once you change you, then your environment will change, and eventually, you'll get through it.
Well said.
Well said. And you spoke to me about this when we were at MusicCon last year, so this was off air. But something that Jeezy said that always caught my attention, they can lock, Jay-Z said this too, they can lock your body, but they can't trap
Lock
your
mine. And Jay-Z was, that was one of my favorite lines. That boy said, they can trap my body, can't lock my mind, easily explain how we adapt to crime. Yeah.
You learned how to play the guitar in jail, piano.
Yeah.
You really, because I was looking. Look, I appreciate you for sharing my stories, but you have some shareable stories, man. When y'all did you ain't got saying too much. And
me and Mercedes.
When y'all, I was like, man, look at Mac playing that, bro.
Yes.
And running your verse.
Yeah, look, that's not easy. So I basically, full disclaimer, I passed. That's how I passed the time in prison. I wanted to make sure that I was learning. So the prison for me became a university rather than a prison. I made sure of that. That goes back to what we just mentioned about
that's deep.
Reshape your own environment. So for me, it became a university. I got up every day. I went to work. When I left work, I went straight to the band room and I practiced. They say 10,000 hours of anything make you a genius, right? I was every day in there. Piano, bass, drums, piano, bass, drums. I was just in there because I wanted to get it. And I wanted to do something that I had never seen anybody do before. I never saw a rapper like sit at a piano, rap, and play at the same time.
That's dope, man. That's pretty cool. Well, Mac, man, we got to let you go here. A few things. Oh, CL, shouts out to our co-host CL. He usually asks people to say, man, tell the people where you're from. So, Mac, tell the people where you from, man.
Uptown, baby, New Orleans. You already know what it is. You heard me?
Yes, indeed. Before we let you go, any new music coming up? I know you have an album out and your previous catalog, but anything you got new coming out?
New project coming out hopefully on my birthday, which is July 30th.
Okay, all right.
So I'm trying to drop it on July 30th. Hopefully it'll be ready. It's called SOS. I think hip-hop needs an SOS right now. And that's what it's called, SOS, which also means Son of Sheila, because that's my mother's name.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's on my birthday when she had me. So, yeah, a lot of things going on with that. I've finished probably about 13 songs so far. The objective is to do about 25, and then I'm going to pick my favorite, probably 10 or 12 from that 25 and release it. So that'll be coming very soon. I got BG on the project. Okay. I got a couple surprises. I ain't gonna let nobody.
Right.
I got a comedian, real famous comedian that's gonna be on one of the songs. We got some stuff going on, and can't wait for everybody to hear it. Can't wait for everybody to hear it.
That's big time, man. Well, he's Mac. Y'all make sure y'all look. Just go on your Apple Music, MAC.
MAC.
You pull it up. World War III. Got some of my favorite songs of his on the Shell Shock. Just a great catalog. Looking forward to your projects coming up here, Mac. Looking forward to getting you back here on the show for your birthday or around that time.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Single, man.
We got to do it.
That is for sure.
And me and you got to. We got to
get on the
America,
UP.
Y'all got him on the spot. You heard that, America?
Yeah, we got to.
Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. We got to get Mac on some. Matter of fact, I do got a couple songs on. Mac gonna have to be on the Baller Broadcaster too. I got a couple beats here for you to get on. So yeah. And D1, I'm calling you out too because you owe me a track too.
D, hello somebody.
Yes,
Shout out to D,
indeed.
man. I met D years ago in the prison, man. Me and D been like that ever since.
Man, that's
my dude.
I remember, bro. I remember he was
That's
going
my
to
dude.
visit you, bro, and he had so much great stuff to say about you,
That's
man.
my
And
dude.
we happy. You are a living testament of someone
Man.
who could go through hell and high water. When you in the wilderness, 10,000 hours, bro. I love to hear stuff like that.
Tell me about it. Like,
Yes,
it
indeed.
It was crazy times. That's what I would say. It was crazy times.
Oh, before we let you go, you used to come to the LSU because I know y'all would work at LSU sometimes.
Yeah.
So, man, he was telling me stories from 2007.
Yeah,
That was cool.
LSU. So we used to go clean up I was part of a crew that used to go clean up after the games at LSU. So we had like 2 officers to bring a crew, about 15 of us, and just drop us off right there in front by the stadium, and we would just go all through the campus, cleaning up and everything. And so, you know, I remember just going on the field. You know, we were going to the field, and I was just looking like, damn, you know, that stadium is something serious. It's real steep. It's real steep, and I could just always imagine what it was like when it was just packed up in there.
Well, last year you missed. This year you gotta come to one of the home games with us, and this time you're going there to enjoy the game as a celebrity in the suite.
I'm gonna try to go on the field or somewhere around somewhere.
You heard that,
close
Coach
by.
Kelly? Huh? We gotta let Maggie, let Webby and all them on the field. You gotta let Mac on the field too.
Yeah, you gotta let me in there.
Louisiana made Louisiana proud.
Gotta let me in there. Guess what? I just walk in there.
Exactly. That's what
America, that's how I'm coming.
Yeah.
That's how I'm coming. Straight up.
Well, he's Mac, y'all. Y'all definitely stay tuned. Remember, go to his social media. Give me a post one more time.
Social media posts on Instagram is Mac Phipps at Mac Phipps Official on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and at Mac Phipps Official on Facebook and everything.
Y'all
All
check
Mac
him
Phipps
out.
Official, baby.
Tour with Fiend coming up. Gonna be going on. Continue tour with Master P.
Yeah.
And the crew, man. We love it. Thanks, Mac. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mac. Thank you, Dr. Kendra, for coming on. Mario for being a co-host. Shouts out to Lil Chris in there. For Wes, Dame, and the rest of the crew up in there. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do for our sponsors. Health Nut System. Dr. Kendra, we appreciate y'all. My man, Robert Wolf in Construction. Thank you, my brother. We building houses and building champions together. We're going to continue to do that. Yes, indeed. He building houses, construction work, you name it. He got it going over there. And look, y'all, we're going to be back here next Monday, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube channel. And, of course, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube. And we're going to keep this party rolling, baby.
That's what we're going to do.
Hello, somebody. Y'all have a blessed week. Peace.
Peace.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.